Welcome to episode 3 of Roadbook. Today we start with the Enduro Cup, around 20 bike riders who have come here to Andalucia to learn the ropes of rally raid.
This is my first ever rally. What a day, absolutely loving it. But sun's out, riding bikes all day, life couldn't be any better. C'est bon.
C'est autre chose comme compétition, ça n'a rien à voir avec du motocross ou quoi que ce soit, c'est vraiment un plaisir à part. C'est que du bonheur.
It's a job to get with a roadbook. Difference in enduro what I've done before is just normal 2-3 hour head and hounds, but this compared to that, you know, throw in a roadbook as well, it's just a job to keep up. All I could do is a bit of rain.
The bikers always have an early start on the Andalucia rally, but the car drivers get a bit more of a lie-in. We've come along to the MD Rally Sport Garage to find out a bit more about their morning rituals.
Et le matin, je me réveille tranquillement, petit déjeuner, petit échauffement, réveil musculaire, et puis après je débarque dans mon team et on fait le briefing sur la voiture, on check tout pour savoir si tout est bon pour cette longue journée de course. Un petit peu de bonne humeur dans l'équipe, partir positif et puis attaquer après derrière. Alors moi j'étais motard, donc je sais ce que c'est se lever tôt le matin. Mais bizarrement je préfère me lever tôt et partir de suite que piétiner, traîner au parc fermé.
Now our show is Roadbook, so it makes sense to learn more about the Roadbook. Here's where it's printed out in this secret room, and we're going to see if they'll let us have a look around.
Bonjour, welcome in the roadbook factory of Andalucia Rally. Here we print all the roadbook. It's 400 bike roadbook, 7 km of paper, 140 car roadbook per day. This room is very confidential, and with the spirit of David Castella to conserve the secret of the trace. We have the files at the last minute. Usually we have 24 hours for print.
That's it for today. Thanks very much for watching, and do keep an eye out for our next episode. A long day for the bikers on stage 2, 339 kilometres against the clock. New hero rider Franco Caimi was happy with his efforts. He says he's getting used to the new bike. The Argentine did get a bit turned around at one point and he had some issues with his rear brake, but otherwise it was a solid day in 5th place. Jean Barreda was the overall leader this morning, and originally it looked like he'd extended his advantage. The Spaniard, who had a minor crash in the second part of the stage, set the fastest time, but he was then slapped with a 4-minute penalty for speeding. He had to be content with 4th place. Pablo Quintanilla feels that he is improving every day on the Honda. Today's technical enduro-style tracks weren't really the Chilean's cup of tea. He's more of an open desert man, but he still had his best outing of the week so far in 3rd. Joaquim Rodriguez said the stage was a bit sketchy in places and that it wasn't always easy to keep his hero on the tracks. He managed to overtake the rider ahead of him, Mathieu Devez, before finding good speed in the second section and finishing 2nd. Watch out for that photographer though, Joaquim. Lorenzo Santolino has an enduro background, so he did a fine job navigating the sinuous mountain tracks in the first part of the stage. Things opened up in the second part and the pace was high. Well, Santolino did ease off a little bit to spare his tyres, but he stayed out in front all day long, and with Barreda's penalty, he took stage honours. It also hands Santolino the overall lead. He's 1 minute 43 ahead of Barreda, with Caimi, Quintanilla and Sebastian Buller making up the top 5.
Esto es automático.
Eso es... Chaval, ese no lo has visto.
Disaster for Seth Quintero in the lightweight vehicles. The overall leader was forced to retire before today's stage after suffering gearbox failure on his way to the start, but the young American remains upbeat.
Pretty bummed, but I'm going to take the positive away from it. I mean, I'm 18 years old, traveling the world, so I got no complaints here.
Cristina Gutierrez didn't have quite as much trouble as her Red Bull teammate Quintero, but she lost around 8 minutes on the stage. The Spaniard wasn't entirely happy after making some mistakes, but she remains second in the standings. Even if they're limited to 130 kilometers an hour, the OT3s aren't far off the T1s. Their three remaining drivers are all inside the top 14 in the combined FIA standings. Defending champ Mitch Guthrie was second today, although he also lost a bit of time. In the end, Guillaume de Mevius was sporting the biggest smile in the Red Bull OT3 garage as they made it to 1-2-3. The Belgian's taking to his new team like a duck to water. He won the stage by over 6 minutes to storm into the overall lead.
Yeah, very happy. We drive well, we didn't have any problem, we just did a good stage and we won, so good second day.
It was a fast day in the SSVs with the top three separated by just 40 seconds. Austin Jones got into a bit of trouble after taking the wrong path, but he pushed in the second sector and limited his losses. The American's second overall and confident that he can still win the rally. Aaron Donzala's hopes of defending his title went up in smoke yesterday after a big crash, but he was able to get back on the tracks today. The Pole got caught in the dust when some T1 cars overtook him, but he managed a respectable second place. It's still the surprise package Khalifa Al-Attiyah who leads the way. The Qatari and co-driver Xavier Panzeri doing a fantastic job in their South Racing Can-Am. That's 2 stage wins in 2 days. His lead over Jones is 5 minutes 25 seconds. At this rate, they're going to need some space in the Al-Attiyah trophy cabinet. Eric van Loon struggled to find his rhythm in the early part of stage 2. The Dutchman was just behind Vladimir Vasiliev when the Russian crashed, and he didn't want to take any risks. Things improved as the day wore on, although he had to change the front right tyre after hitting a stone, eventually cruising home in 5th. Van Loon says he's looking forward to a fight with this man on stage 3. Bottas Zala had a tough day though, making a few mistakes and saying it was probably down to inattentiveness. These guys prefer the twisty tracks to the long straights, so they're looking forward to tomorrow. For now, they slipped to 3rd overall. Nasser Al-Attiyah 3rd on the stage, but he managed to limit his losses pretty well. He and Mathieu Baumel opened from start to finish. They did get lost at one point, shipping around a minute. But they pushed on in the second part, didn't have any punctures, and they remain top of the overall standings. Yazid Al-Raji had his best performance of the rally so far. The Saudi had a slow puncture in the second section, but that didn't prevent him coming home in second place. Al-Raji says that he needs to rack up the kilometres. His shoulder still isn't quite at 100% after a crash at Baha Sharqiya, but this outing will have done him good. Carlos Sainz was wrestling with his new car for most of the first 2 days, but this was a much smoother outing for the Spaniard. El Matador was able to push a bit more in the Mini 4x4, and that increased confidence helped him to land the stage victory. In the end, he only gained 1 minute and 15 seconds on Al-Attiyah, and he's going to have to open tomorrow, but the Spaniard was happy with the day's efforts.
I think it was a little bit better, a bit more confidence with the car. We did yesterday some adjust, and I think I can drive the car with more confidence, which is important. Yeah.
Overall, Nasser Al-Attiyah leads by 1 minute and 26 seconds. There is now a gap of nearly 5 minutes back to Zala in 3rd.